Hi, welcome to a beginner-friendly, light on the knees yoga practice. I'm glad you're here. Please take everything at your own pace. Remember that this is an ongoing, evolving practice, and your job is to show up, to breathe, to move your body perhaps in new ways, and really to go easy and gentle on yourself. And I don't mean like easy physically, unless that's what you need. I mean like gentle on your own heart, gentle and grace around the fact that you show up, and let this just be a little playful, a little curious. See where you're at. Don't take any of it too seriously, and feel what it feels like to move your body. That's it. Breathe, move, be, all is well. So we'll start seated. If sitting is uncomfortable, you're certainly welcome to start on your back as well. You're welcome to put something behind you. And some people, especially those of us with tighter hips, which will make sitting hard, your knees will be up in the air. Take a block or a pillow or anything you've got around, a blanket. I don't expect you to have a block if you're brand new to this. And get something to elevate your butt, okay? What you want is for your pelvis to be able to come forward. We'll just take a few rounds of breath. Take a deep breath in through the nose, open the mouth, empty and release the exhale. I'm going to actually teach you box breath to start, just to clear any nervousness, get yourself a little bit more connected to the here and now. So empty your breath all the way out to the bottom. And on an inhalation, we'll count to 4. Breathe in as much air as you can to the count of 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Hold the breath at the top for the count of 4. Then exhale to the bottom. 4, 3, 4. Hold at the bottom for 4. Inhale, 4. Hold, 4. Exhale, 4. Hold, 4. One more round. Inhale, 4. Hold. Exhale, 4. Good. Now let your breath start to fill and empty without holding. Let your breath really fill the body. We're working what's called diaphragmatic breath. And that box breath practice can be elongated as long as you need it to be. You can hold for 5, 6, 7. It's a great practice for calming your body, calming your nervous system, increasing your ability to sleep. It's good for pain relief. Bring your palms to the heart and remind yourself what it is you're here for, how you're going to take care of yourself, what you intend to do by showing up. I promise knee light, but we will start just on the knees for a cat-cow. So go ahead and take your block away and then let your hands and knees come to the floor. If this doesn't work, you can do this standing. We're working a pelvic tilt. You can also do this in a chair. Inhale to let your belly soften and your heart lift. Exhale to round the back. Good. Curling the toes under and working to put weight in your hands. You might need to walk your hands forward a little bit. Trying a down dog. You can also use blocks underneath your hands here if you've got them. They're a good investment if this whole yoga thing is something you want to keep trying to do. And then you're going to bend your knees. I'm hoping my mic doesn't keep hitting my face like that. You're going to want to bend your knees and let yourself hinge back and let your head hang. Bend your knees as much as you need to. You can widen your stance. And if you need to bring your knees back down to the floor, totally fine. Okay, you're here to breathe, move, and explore. Good. Walking your hands back to your feet. Some people find that easier. None of this needs to be graceful. Maybe bringing your feet closer together. Let yourself hinge from the hips. Maybe grab either elbow and hang. Big breaths. keeping your knees as bent as you need to. You're not too inflexible to do this practice. Root down through your heels, rise all the way to standing, all the way up, reach your arms up overhead. Good, I'm going to turn to face you. You can do the same if you want to. Side bend to the right. Look up towards your left arm. Inhale back up through center, switching sides. Back up through center, keeping your weight as even as you can in your feet. You can widen your stance if that feels better, making room for your body. Right. Reach up and center, left. Let's do that one more time. Inhale up, reach, reach, reach. Your arms might be starting to get tired. Exhale, right. Inhale, center. Push down to reach up. Beautiful. Come back up through center. Let your arms come at your sides. This is called mountain pose. Good. The idea is that every posture is a version of this posture. So lift and spread your toes. Feel into your feet. Unlock your knees. I like to say they're wiggleable. Feel your shoulder move on your back and feel your breath move through your body. Good. Let's widen our feet out. Good. So keep facing the screen if that's easier for you. So you can kind of mirror me. It's okay if you end up on the left and I'm on the right. We'll do everything evenly. Turn your right toes to maybe the back edge of the mat, arms to a T. Good. Bend your right leg for warrior two. If it feels tough to be here and you're building strength again after having lost it, or maybe never having really had it, you can straighten and bend as many times as you need to. Right? You don't have to stay put in anything, but you are working to build your tolerance for what we call the edge. You're doing great. Take 2 more breaths. Good. Start to straighten your right leg out. You might need to bring your feet closer together. Try not to pop this hip out. Instead, hinge from the hip, but keep the legs active. You can hug the legs together, like you're squeezing the heels together, or you can try to pull them apart. And if that doesn't make sense, like you're trying to stretch the mat, don't worry about it. Make shapes when you get here, right? If you have a block, here's where you'd use it. If you don't, you can put your hand on your shin instead, and you can even be all the way up here. Okay, but you want that left hip to dip in a little bit, the right hand to reach down. Blocks are great. Breath is the most important thing. You can look straight ahead, you can look down, or you can look up. Again, if it gets too intense, just take breaks where you need them. You're not here to prove anything to anyone. You're here to feel into your now. If it feels better to close your eyes, you certainly can. It'll just challenge your balance. Good. Inhale, rise up. We'll switch sides. Right toes turn in, left toes turn to the other edge of your mat. For me, that's the left. Left knee bends, arms to a T. If you're anything like me, anytime I try to take on something new, I tend to go so full at it that I wear myself out and then I don't go again. So again, bend and straighten if this feels too intense. If your arms are falling off, take a second. You can also always bring your palms to your heart instead. But you're also working to check up against, like, is it true that my arms are falling off or are they just tired? One more breath if you can stay. If you can't, that's okay too. Straighten the left leg. You're not here to add another judging, critical voice to your life, right? I don't know about you, but I got plenty of those inside my head and outside. Maybe a block, maybe hand on the knee or the shin. Back foot turns in a little bit, back hip turns in a little bit. Left leg is trying not to lock or dump. And if you're tight, it's going to be bent. Let it be. Make a shape. Feel your shape of your body. Breathe as much into the now. If you find yourself making lists or plans or examining dirt in your house or whatever you're doing, acknowledge it and come back. One more breath. You can always take breaks again. Good. Inhale, rise up. Good. Turn both toes a little bit out. Sorry, wardrobe malfunctions for me too. I'm sure you're doing the same. Toes a little bit out, bend your knees. Now, how much? You don't need to do like, weightlifting here. Find the place that feels hard, but not impossible. Maybe your arms come up to a cactus position. Maybe your palms turn back to inspire your biceps. My left bicep never knows that it was meant to work. I like to close my eyes in this one, so you can do that too if that feels right. I love this posture because it feels vulnerable, right? It's goddess, it's feminine, heart open, all the chakra systems exposed, but also I feel like I could kick some ass. By the way, I'm a sweary yoga teacher. I'm sorry if that alarms you. It's one of the ways I feel like divine feminine can pull some power back in. Remember that you've been through a lot, that you're capable of a lot, that you can tolerate a lot, and that you can also take breaks. You can also have agency. You could go up and down the whole time, okay? Whatever you're doing is good, I promise. One more breath. Woo! Straighten those legs. Wiggle yourself out a little bit if you need to, and we'll take a forward fold. Blocks if you want them and have them. Folding over your legs, okay? Tendency here is to lock back in the heels. Bend your knees and hinge from your hips. If you're breathing, you're doing it. If you're trying, you're doing it. There's no hierarchy. One more breath. Some of us get a little lightheaded here, so bend your knees and come up halfway first. Take a breath or two halfway. Let your heart and head get on the same plane. Then put weight in your heels and keep your knees bent. Bring yourself all the way back up to standing. Good. We're going to try some twists, see how it goes. I said no knees, but if you need your knee and your knees don't bother you, great. Okay? You're going to shorten your stance a little bit and turn both feet to point to the back edge of the mat. Both legs are straight. Now, I said back edge, but the truth is that left foot flares out a little smidge to the left. Good. Right leg is straight-ish. If your hamstrings are tight, they're going to both be bent. Now, pop your booty up. And don't think about going low. Go halfway. And then maybe if you have a block or two, you can put them underneath a hand. Okay? Right hip draws back. This is called revolve triangle. Push your butt back, extend your heart, and breathe. It's okay if you don't twist a lot. Notice if your hips are getting all swayed off to the side. But don't worry so much about perfect alignment here. Move your body, breathe. One more breath. Good. Look down to orient your balance again. Inhale, rise up. Good. Now we're going to stay facing the right. Start to bend your right knee. If you want your left knee down, you can certainly put it down, okay? But if you're trying to avoid pressure on the knees, I don't blame you. I'm going to give you 3 options for this one. Option 1, knee down, hand across, right arm reaching back. Option 2, left hand down, right arm up, knee still down. Option 3, pick your back knee up to stay off your knee, so it's a lunging twist. All options are good options. You're not meeting it with judgment. You're trying to discern what's best for you today. That's it. That's it. End of conversation. What works best for me that I can be present in and breathe. One more breath. Good. Look down. Bring your hands to your right thigh. Bring your torso back up if it isn't already, and turn back to face the wide edge of the mat. I like to wiggle, check everything out, okay? Free yourself from whatever boundaries that you're in that you don't need. And now we'll try the other side. If you're using blocks, go get them. Okay, blocks can go here. Okay, remember both legs are straight on the first one. Good. Trying to keep my low back reasonably flat, because if I round in here, it puts the pressure here. I don't want that. I want the pressure to be in my hamstrings and my hips. Then find something, reach for something, and reach the left arm open. You can take your feet as wide as you need to for balance. Good. Look down, gather yourself up, push through your heels, rise up. Good. Remember 3 versions. Choosing either knee down. You can always use a blanket under a knee too here. You can use a block, by the way. Okay. Right hand to the knee, left hand to the hip, or left arm extending. Option 1. Option 2, right hand on the floor, left arm up, back knee staying down. Option 3, with or without a block. Sorry, I didn't tell you that on the other side. You can always use those blocks if you have them. No hierarchy. That means there is not better, worse, right, or wrong. There just is. And radical acceptance is one of the many, many gifts this practice continues to help me grow. I'd love to tell you that I am radically accepting everything in my life. No, but I meet myself with more grace. I meet life with more grace. Drop your hand back down. Bring your hands to your left thigh. Bring your torso back up. Face the wide edge of the mat and step yourself together. Before we go back down to the mat, like give me 3-ish more minutes and we'll be back on the floor. Let's do a little bit of balancing. Lots of versions. I'm sure you've seen this pose on a t-shirt before, tree pose. So lift and spread your toes on your left foot. I like to think like a pedicure whoosie what's jammed up in there, you know? So spread them out and try to feel with an unlocked knee, feel where your weight tends to go in your foot. And then try to navigate, letting it balance a little bit more centrally, okay? Then step 1, variation 1, left foot down, right toes come against left ankle, right knee opens up, palms can come to the heart. You could grab a wall, okay? Option 2, use a block. Get that foot a little higher. Option 3, stick it in your calf. Option 4 is not at the knee. The knee is not where you want to put pressure. If you can go above the knee or below the knee. You can use a wall, any version. If you're getting real finicky, you're kind of pushing into that inner thigh, anchoring down through your left heel, telling yourself, I am balanced. Eyes open, absolutely find something to focus on. If you're feeling real snazzy, really balanced today, you can take your arms up. If you're feeling even more balanced, take your gaze up. Notice that like real life balance, it's kind of a lie. There's no such thing as like achieving balance without continuous moving parts. And what we're really looking for is this idea of balance as what's in alignment with me. How do I feel most balanced at this season in my life? Not this BS of work-life balance. It just doesn't work that way. Most of us have seasons and chapters and phases and days and moments. One more breath. Getting pissed if you need to get pissed. I love getting pissed and balancing. Appropriate anger for the moment. Good, let it go, shake it out. It's not uncommon that your foot hurts. Okay, a lot of us tend to lock out and that puts a lot of pressure in the foot and ankle. So if you need to stretch that foot out a little bit, flop it over. It feels terrible, but good. Ugh, right? Maybe a little arthritic if you're getting to a certain age. I'm in my 40s. Things are falling apart, and I just say that with love because everybody who's older is like, come on, you don't even know. Fine, but I do know that it's different than 20 and 30. Okay, shake yourself out. Mentally shake yourself out. However side 1 went, it's done. Side 2. Most of us have a good leg and a less good leg. Lift and spread your toes, or a good foot, a good whatever, right? Your body tells a story of all the things you've been through, everything you've experienced, all the life you've lived, all the things you've done, and your genetics, and your history, and your trauma, and your everything, right? So meet yourself in the now with grace. There's a whole lot of stories and moments that led up to now. You deserve grace. You deserve, and I don't mean like religious grace. I mean like gentleness, compassion. To me, that's what grace really is. Saying you are good right here. And I don't even mean good. See, all the language is loaded. I mean, you're whole. And whole means light, dark, mixed. Find your version. Toes, calf, block, above the thigh. Knees working to open up. Root down through the heel. That's going to keep you balanced. Feel your roots. See your roots. Rooting into the now is one of the most magical parts of this practice. One of the most medicinal. creating freedom from the stress of constantly worrying and the pain and rumination of constantly lingering back with what was. Breathe. Palms at heart, maybe arms up. Push through your heel. Find a mantra if that helps you. Walls are good tools, countertops. Balance is one of the fastest things to improve, so cook on one foot. Stand in a line, practicing your balance. Notice if you're dumping into your foot, try to keep your foot active. Take one more breath. Nice job, you guys. Shake it out. Now I'm going to offer something that may not work for a lot of us. And if it doesn't, you're going to sit on your butt and take your knees out wide like a butterfly. I'll show you that in a second. Okay, so, well, actually, I'll show you that right now. If it doesn't work, you're welcome to either sit on a block, if that's accessible here, right? Or sit with your legs in butterfly, or you can even lay with your legs in butterfly. But if possible, yoga squats are so good for us. Okay, I don't care if you're halfway down. If you're working it from here, work it from here. You can work it with your booty against a wall, okay? And just start getting lower and lower. You don't need to worry about your heels being down, okay? So if the heels don't go down, they don't go down. If your heels go down, but it feels kind of congested, pick them back up, okay? Find the place you can be in. Separate your feet as much as you need to. Make room for boobs, belly, body, whatever you need. See if you can stay here for a breath, 2 breaths, 5 breaths. This is one of the best hip openers. Good. Let yourself settle onto your butt. Lay down on your back. Last couple postures here. We'll do them relatively quickly. Okay. Taking your right ankle across your left thigh, flexing your right foot and pushing the right knee away from you. A simple hip opener. You can also, if you have a wall near you, I have a wall version of a beginner slow burn class. Check that out. It's got some great hip openers. Press your right knee open here and breathe. If that's not intense enough for you and you have access to grabbing your left thigh or your left shin, you can try that. You could even push your right knee away. You'll ideally feel some sort of stretch in your right inner thigh or your right outer hip. Breathe. Good. Taking a quick hamstring stretch, letting your knee be really ugly and bent, keeping your left knee bent. Give it a couple of kicks. Take 3 breaths in that right hamstring, or longer if you want to stay. Don't worry about it being straight. Feel it in the belly of the muscle. Good job. Set it down. Switch sides. Left ankle across right leg. You can scooch the heel in closer. You might grab the leg. You might use a wall or a strap. If you had a strap, you'd slide it around your right leg to help you pull in. If boobs are in the way here, try a bit different version. You can sit up and do different versions. Sorry, I didn't tell you that earlier. You can go here instead if the laying on your back is too intense and the boobs are in the way or anything else feels in the way. Good. If you're doing the hamstring stretch sitting up instead, you can go here and both legs straight, okay? Those of you who are on your back, start to straighten the left leg out. Give it a couple rounds of kicks. Good. Dropping your feet to the floor, letting your arms come out to a T, knees fall to the right, gaze turns to the left. I like to pick my head up, turn the face. Come back through center and switch sides. Big belly breathing. The most challenging and most important part of the class is to lay in Shavasana. If it's more comfortable for you to keep your knees bent, your knees backed in, and laying your legs straight, totally fine. If you need to sit up or get support another way, listen to your body. If you feel comfortable laying on your back, lying flat, take a deep breath into your nose. Empty your breath out your mouth. And let yourself settle into your ability to show up for yourself today. Whatever amount you were able to do was the right amount for you today. Validate your own experience and let yourself settle into quiet. I'd encourage you to pause the recording here and stay for as long as you can in this restful space. When you're ready to reawaken, wiggle your fingers and your toes. Stretch your arms long over your head. Draw your feet together, create length. Soften and empty. Hug your knees in. Ease over onto your right side. And gently sit yourself up. Bringing the palms to heart center. Giving yourself deep grace, compassion, validation for making it through. The first step is often the hardest one. I believe in you. I believe in this practice. I welcome you back as often as you are willing to show up in this new way, or this old familiar way that you're stepping back into. The light within me vows to honor the light within you. Om Shanti. Good work. I highly recommend coming back to this practice or the other beginner practice enough times that you start to get familiar so that you feel less overwhelmed by what might be new, and you can start to see and feel your body change within a very standard practice. Kudos. I appreciate you being here. I'm proud of you, but more importantly, I hope you're proud of you for coming along on this journey. Have a great one. Thank you for all you do in the world, all the ways you show up, all the ways you're you.